from school. The thing is, like, we have completed Dust of Snow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, what things I have shared? Just 1 minute. Let me check what I have shared. Have you all completed the work of the previous chapter?
Ma'am, the worksheet that was given
Yes, beta.
for...
Yes,
Yes, ma'am, that is done.
it is done. Very good. And the grammar one also done.
Ma'am, grammar one, I don't know because it was not shared with me.
Tenses.
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
worksheet
ma'am,
only
it
I'm
is
talking
done.
about.
Okay, fine. So now we have completed the first chapter also. That was a letter to God, and the first poem also we have completed. That is a Dust of Snow. Any problem in the poem? Have you gone through the poem afterwards?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and have you understood what content was given in that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything, any of you facing problem in that?
No,
No.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. I'll just fine. So today we have to do one more thing, that is I'll just keep my camera on with the help of this so that you people can see me. Okay, because last time it was happening like I was trying to present the screen and that time my camera was getting off, right? So do one thing.
Ma'am, we'll discuss extra question today.
Yes, of course we
Okay.
will.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, actually, I have not the textbook, so can you do screen sharing?
Yes, definitely I'll do that, beta. As
Okay,
such, the poem, just you should know what exactly the poem conveys, what is the main theme of the poem, then only you will be able to answer, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So then if I'm not sharing the screen, then also it will be fine for you. Still I'll share. Okay, so I'll share the screen. For that I need to... Okay. I know it is taking a lot of time, but due to some confusion, it is happening. Yeah, here we go.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, actually I have joined 2 minutes earlier only. So can you tell what we have done now?
you have joined 2 minutes earlier. You have joined recently,
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
just
because
now. That's
earlier
okay. I
after
understood. Hmm, no problem. We have done this poem now, Dust of Snow.
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yes. Hmm. So we have done the question answers of this poem, textual question answers yesterday itself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Not a day before yesterday. Just 1 second. Okay. Fine. So we'll do the extra questions of this. Is my voice echoing or the double sounds are
Yes,
coming?
ma'am.
Is that so?
Yes, ma'am. Echoing. Yes.
Echoing. It is happening because I have. Okay, I got the solution now.
Ma'am,
Now I
I'm
think it's not echoing.
Ma'am, I'm joining with another device.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
just
Okay,
allow
good.
my request?
Just so many things I need to do to present the screen. To mute myself, I need to myself. See. Okay, now it's perfectly fine. I think now the voice is also clear and the video is also clear, and you are
Yes,
able to see
ma'am.
the screen as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god. See
Oh
what
my
is
God. See what my God. See what my God. See what my Ma'am, again your voice started
Ma'am, it's
echoing.
not
Ma'am, your
perfectly
voice
okay.
was
just 1
Just
minute.
one.
Just automatically it's my got unmuted. That's why it was happening. Everything happens with me. Why God? Why? Okay. Anyways,
Ma'am, will you allow my request? I'm joining from another device.
yes. Okay, fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
So now the scenario is like, again, the screen has been freezed. Okay. So this is the poem. Okay. Ready, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I'm placing the question answers for you. That means I'm just asking you the question answers. Okay. First is the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Okay, these are the lines. Understood? Now, the first question is, where was the crow?
On the hemlock tree?
On the hemlock tree.
Yes, very good. What did it shake on the poet?
ma'am,
Dust of
Dust of snow. I'm a dust of snow.
Dust of snow. What does the word rude mean?
Held in
regret.
Held in regret.
Held in regret is visible on the screen. That's why we all were able to
No,
answer.
ma'am, it's yes, it's visible.
Harry, we have to answer as well, right? And everyone has to keep their cameras on. Okay? Yes. What is the poet's state of mind?
What, ma'am?
What is the poet's state of mind?
ma'am, bad.
Firstly depressed, but next, after the dust of snow occurred on it, it becomes happy.
Okay. The poet was in a
And
sad.
where it is mentioned that it was asked before or after the falling of dust of snow.
No, it's not asked, but how it is. The question says it. What is the poet's state of mind? State of mind means when he is writing this poem, when he was, when all this was happening with him at that time. What was his state of mind? Okay, so its answer should be, ethically, its answer should be in the previous stage one. The poet was in a sad, depressive, and hopeless mood that time. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Second one. Again, the same comprehension, stanza is there. But till from a hemlock tree. Where did the crow sit? Same type of question.
On the hemlock tree.
On the hemlock tree.
Where did the crow sit? I need the proper answer. What should be the answer?
The crow sat
On
on
the
a
branch.
And the
hemlock tree.
crow
Hemlock
sits
tree.
The
on
crow
hemlock
sat
tree.
on the branch of hemlock tree.
Hemlock tree. Very good. Okay. How did the poet? How did the crow change the poet's mood?
The crow changed the poet's mood by falling some dust of snow on him.
Walking or shaking down?
Shaking down
Shaking
the
down.
branch of
Shaking down because
hemlock.
Shaking down.
even. So we will use by shaking down the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Okay. Fine. Next. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. From these two lines of the poem. Of what change does the poet mention here?
I'm sad to
Someone
happiness.
mentioned the change of
The poet mentioned the change. The
Mhm.
poet mentioned the change that first he was depressed by the whole day, but
Mhm.
when the crow sat it on the hemlock tree and put some dust of
Sat
snow
is
on him,
always sat, beta. Sat is always sat.
Sat.
Sat can't be satted. Okay,
sat on
sat,
the branch of
satted.
hemlock tree,
Hmm.
and then the dust of snow falling on after the falling of dust of snow on him, the mood changes into good.
Okay, and
One
according to
means change of mood, right?
yes, change of mood. He's just mentioning the change of mood. Okay. Next, what did the poet think of that day?
The poet was thinking that the remaining day will be ruined. But after the falling of dust of snow, his mood was changed and his day was
The
saved.
poet part of the day has been saved. This is what he is saying. Whose part of the day has been saved? Whose part of the day?
Poets.
The
Poets.
poet's.
Poet
What is
Robert
the
Frost.
rhyming? Yes. Or otherwise, if I'm saying what did the poet think of that day, both questions possess the same answer. He thinks that his part of the day is has been saved. Okay, next question. What is the rhyming scheme of the passage?
A B A B C D C
A B
D.
A B.
Okay.
AB.
Ma'am, for
Who is the poet?
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost. Robert
Very
Frost.
good. Robert Frost. Okay. Okay. What did the crow do to the hemlock tree?
Started shaking.
Started shaking or just shook?
Shook
Shook
the
Shook the
branch
hemlock
of
tree.
hemlock tree.
Shook the
Hemlock tree.
hemlock.
branch of hemlock tree.
Okay. Now next question. Question will be of 30 to 40 words. Okay, ready everyone? Yes.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
what is the underlying message for us in our hectic life with reference to the poem Dust of Snow? I'm repeating. Yes, I'm repeating again. Note down the questions, please. Leave about the comprehension. Those were the easy ones. But note down the questions of short answer and long answer. Okay, although this poem doesn't contain much questions, so you can note down right now. And answers you can write later on after discussion. What is the, write down. What is the now Manya's pen has been lost.
Ma'am, can you repeat it?
Yes, what is the, not got Manya?
God.
No problem. Write down somewhere on the sheet itself on your laptop. Then you can take the screenshot of it. What is the underlying message? What is the underlying message for us? For us in our hectic life, in our hectic life, with reference to the poem Dust of Snow. Okay.
Can you repeat one time?
Yes, what is the underlying message for us in our hectic life with reference to the poem Dust of Snow? Okay. So this question came in 2016-17 paper as well, both paper. Okay. What should be the answer? Yes, Manya.
Ma'am, we should, in the reference to the poem Dust of Snow, our life, or we see the nature as we want, not the nature as it is. And always nature can help us change our mood, make our mood better while relaxing. So this is the underlining message in our life, which reflects.
Anyone else who wants to give the answer?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the poem "Dust of Snow" says that we should not believe on
Speaking, I'm not
the.
able to get you. 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is speaking?
Ma'am, Kavya.
Kavya, your camera is not on, beta.
Yes. Ma'am.
Yes. Continue now.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the poem "Dust of Snow" conveys the message that we should not believe on the hypothetical situations saying the crow and the hemlock tree a bad omen. Whereas it has been irony that the poet himself got the change in mood when the crow shook down the dust of snow on the poet.
Very well said. Both of you are correct. Anyone else? Yes, Arya?
Ma'am, the underlying message in this
Come on.
poem towards us,
Come on, Arya. You need
the
to-
underlying message
Yes.
in this poem towards us is that we should not be do not respect the agents of nature which are got cursed by us, like crow, which is a symbol of sadness, and the hemlock tree, which is
Which
of
is the
negativity.
another symbol of?
Just the other symbol of negativity. We
Yes.
do not curse them, because sometimes these agents of nature will make us happy.
Okay, great. So,
Ma'am, I want to add one line.
yes, go
Ma'am,
ahead.
one should not take the things granted and has to be open-minded. Like, we
Yes,
should
very-
accept what nature does around us.
Yes. So in all our, everyone is like, you can say everyone is just occupied with their hectic life. But here the poet wants to say that we should enjoy every part of nature. Okay. And we should have a positive attitude towards everything. It is not mandatory. Like a bigger thing. First thing is this, like the bigger things only can give you the happiness. Second thing is, it is not mandatory that all the things which are ugly by looks, or it is said that they can't bring happiness in your life, could not bring it. If you think positively, then everything is good for you, right? So each and every moment is precious of your in your life. You should enjoy that thing clearly. Okay, understood everyone? Yes, let's go with the next thing. That is, no matter how ordinary or unimportant incident may be, it's the reaction or the response that matters. Taking inspiration from the poet's reaction, write how inherent values can be picked up and learned. Mention any two lessons for students like you that could be useful, according to the chapter Dust of Snow. You want me to repeat the question?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No matter how ordinary. Veda, what happened, beta? Smiling face is much better.
Mama didn't got the question
You
actually.
didn't get the question? No problem. We always use the first form of verb. This teacher is pathetic. In every in every way, she's just pulling us. यहाँ पे ये नहीं होगा, यहाँ पे ये नहीं.
No, ma'am, it's not like that.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay. As in such way, I'm not going to change. My nature would be the same. If you think so, then also I'm going to correct you at every point. That is my duty, right? Okay, continue.
Sure, ma'am.
No matter, write down everyone. No matter how ordinary or unimportant, how ordinary or unimportant an incident may be, an incident may be, comma, it's the reaction, or the response, that matters, or the response that matters, full stop. Taking inspiration from the poet's reaction, right? How? Right?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Adi, sorry to interrupt, but Adi Priya is in waiting room.
Oh, okay. Right? How inherent values can be picked up. Values can be
What,
picked.
ma'am? Inherent.
Values can be picked up and learned. Mention any two lessons.
Ma'am,
Mention
picked us and
picked up and learned. Dvisha, Kavya, Arya, you need to keep your cameras on, beta.
Ma'am, the lesson can be from 9th standard also, no?
No. Okay. For example, yes, you can take that.
Okay, ma'am.
Mention any two lessons mention any 2 lessons. Now these lessons are not those lessons. Chapter names are not being asked. They are asking you what lessons you have learned, what values you have learned according to them. Lessons for students like you that could be useful. Mention any 2 lessons for students like you that could be useful. Again, Dvishas, Vanya, Vedant,
Ma'am, Anshu ma'am.
Mati. Yes, ma'am.
Could be.
मोक्षा 10B कौन है ये मोक्षा 10B? मोक्षा आपको आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
Yeah, Moksha is there. Moksha?
मोक्षा
Just unmute yourself, beta.
मोक्षा
Ma'am, she is Moksha Maheshwari.
And ma'am, now she renamed A733.
मोक्षा मुझे अगली बार से बोलना ना पड़े. आवाज आ रही है आपको मेरी? मोक्षा
Ma'am, she did a thumbs up.
हाँ, I have seen that.
Moksha, why are you not unmuting yourself, beta? Hmm? Okay.
Jainam,
Ma'am,
Jainam.
Sakshi, she has sent the message in the chat box. Just check.
Ma'am, you are the host. I won't be able to check it out.
Okay. The message is like she has joined with the TV.
Okay.
Okay. It's possible. But she's not having the mic.
Okay, no issues. I got it.
That is the issue.
Fine. Jainam Mewada.
Yes, ma'am.
Jainam Mewada. शाह नहीं है मेवाड़ा. जैनम.
Yes, ma'am.
बेटा आपका एडमिशन आईडी नंबर है 820.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है, आपको बाकी लोगों की तरह A-820 से ही लॉगिन होना है. ओके मैम.
Moksha can't switch on her camera and mic. Mansi. Sorry, not Mansi. Bansi. Yug Patel.
I don't have a webcam in this laptop.
Okay, fine. Fine, Bansi. Krish Patel, Sanyam. Ma'am, just note down. I'll just call out the names and their excuses which they are giving for the camera and mic.
मैम कोई एक्सक्यूजेस हमको सुनने ही नहीं है, बिकॉज ये चीज तो बच्चों आपको पूरे साल करनी है. पूरे साल हमको ऑनलाइन ही पढ़ना है ना. बिना माइक के आप टीचर से, चलो आज के दिन में आप बोल नहीं पा रहे हो, पूरे साल क्वेश्चन नहीं करना है क्या हमको? सिर्फ फिल्म चल रही है और फिल्म देख ली, ऐसा नहीं होगा ना. So connect with the phone also.
Rajwal, Yug Patel, Kavya Shah. Kavya, keep your camera on, beta.
Ma'am, once again I'm bringing the webcam.
Okay, Vanya.
Ma'am,
Vedant,
my camera is on.
भाई स्टूडेंट्स, मुझे ना अभी से ये एक्सक्यूज नहीं चाहिए. मैम मेरा माइक काम नहीं कर रहा, मैम मेरा कैमरा काम नहीं कर रहा,
पार्थ पटेल,
इशू आ रहा है.
जैनम मेवाड़ा.
गाइस क्विक, चलो फटाफट अपना कैमरा ऑन कर दो. मैम आपको रिकॉर्डिंग थोड़ी देर के लिए पोज कर दो ना, 2 मिनट के लिए.
हाँ, जस्ट वन.
भाई स्टूडेंट्स.
Yes. So you all have noted the question, right?
Ma'am, after that matter, can
Yes,
you repeat?
Yes. That matters, full stop. Taking inspiration from the poets. Taking inspiration from the poet's reaction from the poet's reaction. Write how inherent values can be picked and learned. Can be picked and learned. Mention any two lessons. Mention any two lessons. Janam, we are not coming. We are not here to have a good picnic, a gala time over here. Sit at a proper place where you can write. Any two lessons for students like you that could be useful. For the students like you, that could be possible. That could be useful. Written?
Yes, ma'am.
That could be.
That could be useful. Yes. Who wants to answer this question quickly?
Ma'am, can I, Harsh?
Yes, Harsh.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the poet in the poem Dust of Snow was in a sorrowful mood. So he felt that the whole day was going to be sad. But when a crow shook down the dust of snow on him, his bitter mood changed into an optimistic one. This small incident wiped his sadness and made him cheerful. So this could have become unhappy when such a thing happened, but he took this whole incident in a positive way, and thus the poem teaches us to find happiness from small things and to take everything positively.
Very good. Anyone else who wants to say something regarding the answer? Yes, Mahi. Try, beta. Mahi Patel. You don't want to try?
Yes, ma'am.
Answer. Don't know the answer? Just say beta so that I can move to the next student. Either yes or no. I simply asked you one question.
No, ma'am, I don't know.
You don't know. Yes, Kavya? You want to give a try?
Yes, ma'am, I would like to try. Then, ma'am, in this, it is a lesson for us that we should always thank the nature, as nature gives many things to us.
I'm not able to hear you clearly, beta.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, now can you hear me?
Yes. Now it's clear.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the lessons which are learned by this poem is that we should respect our nature. We should not criticize anything. We should be thankful for what we have. And what should we have? And nothing is decided that how the mood will change.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to give a try? Veda? Who is this?
Ma'am, can I try?
Can I try is good, but what is your name?
Sneha.
Sneha. Where is Sneha? Let me search out. Yes, Sneha, you can continue.
Ma'am, the poet mood changes after when the dust of snow fall, or like the dust of snow shook down on him, and he took that thing in a positive way, and the rest of the day was like saved from ruin. So he was happy in the last, and he was taking the nature's I'm not getting.
Okay. Sneha, I'm not getting you in the entire list. Where are you? Sneha, na?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just looking for your name. Not getting it. You have not kept your camera on, beta.
Ma'am, my camera is on.
Keep your camera on. That's why I was looking for you. A791 Sneha, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Chirag, you are sitting in the darkness. You love darkness. Okay, let me tell you the answer now. How it will go. Okay. Yes, response matters a lot. First of all, this. Okay. Inherent values can be picked up by adopting a positive attitude towards nature, because nature is a great teacher. Each little thing in nature can teach us important lessons at times. And even a small flake of snow has its own significance. We should not judge anything by its appearance. Even crow and hemlock tree, known as brings a bad omen, can bring cheerful in upliftness of
Ma'am,
poetry.
Manya is in waiting room.
She's in waiting room. Why the students are joining so late?
Ma'am, she got disconnected.
Okay. So nothing is useless in nature. Nature is very beautiful. One should live his present cheerfully. Students like me can pick up these qualities from nature that could be useful for others as well. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Fine. With this, this chapter is over. Okay. Let us go to the next chapter. That is, let me go to this. It is revolving, revolving, revolving. Okay, I got it. Okay. The next poem is Fire and Ice. Okay. Okay. The thing is, like, let's talk about Robert Frost once again. It is The Fire and Ice is a very popular poem by the American poet Robert Frost. It was written and published in 1920, shortly after WWI, and weighs up the probability of two different apocalyptic scenarios, two opposite scenarios presented by the elements of poem's title, like fire and ice, two totally opposite characters, things, right? So totally opposite things he has chosen to represent the apocalyptic scenarios. Okay, apocalyptic means two different, entirely different scenarios. The speaker believes fire to be more likely world ender of the two, and links it directly with what he or she has tasted of desire. In an ironically controversial tone, the speaker adds that ice, which represents hate and indifference, would also be great as a way of bringing about the end of the world. That means both can possibly end the world. Both can be used for the end of the world, but on a different aspect. There are two reported inspirations from for the poem. The first of these is Dante's Inferno. That is the first inspiration for this poem, Dante's Inferno, which is a poetic and literary journey into hell. What is Dante's Inferno? It's a poetic or literary journey into hell, written in the 14th century. The other is a reported conversation Frost had with an astronomer in which they talked about the sun exploding and extinguishing, okay, extinguishing fire or ice. So these are the inspirations for this poem. Then what is the theme of this poem? Let me tell you that. Okay, just 1 second. Okay. If I talk about the theme, despite its light and controversial tone, Fire and Ice is a bleak poem that highlights human beings' talent for self-destruction. Understood? So this poem is representing the humans itself, the qualities of a human being, which is having the ability of self-destruction. If one person wants, he can die either by the simple mode also or the difficult mode also, but he can destroy himself. Okay, the poem is a work of eschatology, writing about the end of the world, possesses two possible causes for this end, that one is fire and the other one is ice. The speaker uses these natural elements as symbol of desire and hatred. Okay, ice is resembling the desire and fire is resembling the hatred, respectively, arguing that both emotions left unchecked have the capacity to destroy civilization itself. The speaker begins by relating that when it comes to how the world will end, some people favor fire and some ice. Few people say that one day sun will explode, and with that, like other planets which were nearer to sun were also destroyed due to that explosion. So one day earth will also get destroyed due to that, or you can say due to volcanoes it will get destroyed, like the dinosaurs got destroyed due to the earthquake and the volcanoes. Other reason which the people are giving is the glaciers are melting like anything. One day entire earth's surface will be covered by water and entire earth will get end, right? So different people have different mentality and different aspects of regarding the natural disasters which could end the earth. At this early stage of the poem, these two elements could easily relate to natural disasters. For example, a potential world-ending fire could be something like the asteroid, right? If any asteroid which is much bigger than the earth, size of the earth, or 3/4 of the earth, if it is going to hit earth, obviously the earth will get destroyed, right? So could something be like asteroid that most likely destroyed the dinosaurs? And ice could relate to a future ice age, that one day everywhere there will be ice. There will be no plants and anything. There will be snow and there will be ice, like Ice Age. What is Ice Age movie based on? It is also a, you can say,
A
Yes,
place.
Ma'am, it is a time, it is a period of time in which all the glaciers are there and they are forming more glaciers because the consumers of oxygen are lesser, and the glaciers are not melting much.
yes, they are not melting much, and it's a fantasy based novel. Ice Age is a fantasy based novel on the basis of which they've created this movie or the series, you can say. Okay.
According to that, then life is also there, plants are also there. So how can be destroyed?
So they are saying that if the sun will explode one day, just like one day a big bang, that big bang theory is there, right? Sun exploded from some part and then these planets have been formed, right? They started revolving around the sun and now these planets are there. In the same way, they are saying one day the entire sun will explode. And if the sun will not be there, or The other chances are like, which was the farthest planet earlier? Venus?
Pluto.
Pluto? Okay, Pluto. So Pluto is now lost. It is not destroyed, but it is lost from its orbit.
No, ma'am. It is just deleted from the list of planets because it is not occurring in the list of agendas or the characteristics at that point of time, which is
Yes,
definition of new planet.
Yes, the other thing is like when the orbit on which the other planets are revolving. Okay, every planet is having its own orbit to revolve around the sun. Understood? And now the Pluto has reached the extent life, means it has extended that orbit. It's so far. It's not into the reach of the satellites. That's why it is not counted. The other reason is this. So they are saying that may be possible in the future. It is just the possibility I'm saying. It's not mentioned in the poem. According to poem, there are two reasons only. First is that there will be the earth will be covered with ice from everywhere. There will be ice age again, and the world will end. And the other is fire. One day the sun will explode like anything, and the volcanoes will explode. Everything will explode. Then entire earth will be covered with the fire. Now the thing is, actually it is the self-destruction. This poem is based on the two parts of self-destruction, how person get destroyed. Okay, but as soon as those more naturalistic ends to the world are suggested, the poem changes direction and makes it clear that fire and ice are symbols not of natural disasters. Now here is the twist. In the poem, it is clearly mentioned in the later half that these are not the symbols of natural disasters, but of humanity ability to create disasters of its own. Okay, by fire, the speaker actually means desire. Okay, and from the speaker's limited personal experience, the speaker knows desire to be a powerfully destructive force. Like a person, if he is having desire of having lot of money, so he starts from as a normal person, but that obsession takes him over, and later he is not even hesitate to do any unethical work or the work which he should not do, which is against humanity. Understood? Humanity then could bring about the end of the world through passion, anger, violence, greed, and bloodlust. Indeed, the fire now seems like an image of warfare too. Indeed, the poem was, just one second. Okay. Was written shortly after the end of World War I. Understood? So this poem was immediately written after the World War I. That's why it is containing such element of reading. Now, though the speaker feels fire is likely way of for humanity to destroy itself and the world, the speaker also feels that human beings' capacity for destruction is so great that it could bring about this destruction more than once. That means if the destruction has to be done after 100 years, then human beings are having such power that they can bring today also. They can do anything they want for their destruction, their own destruction. This is tongue in cheek, of course, as once would certainly be enough. Here the speaker represents ice as another method for ending it, aligning it with hatred. Ice works differently from fire. In this eschatology, this word has changed me. Eschatological prediction. 3 times I read it wrong. Eschatological prediction. Human destruction doesn't have to be bright, noisy, and violent. Hate can spread in more subtle ways. Ice has connotations of coldness and indifference. And so a possible reading here is that the end of the world could be brought about by inaction rather than some singular major event. A contemporary reading could map climate change into ice here. If people fail to act over humanity, if humanity's effect on the climate, it will gradually be but absurdly bring about destruction. Now, right now, you can see lot of discomfort is there in everyone's heart, right? Due to this COVID also. So the people are dying like anything, not only because of COVID, but people are dying due to their own destruction as well. Those who are pressurized under the debted things, those who have taken loans or are debted, taken money from someone else, are not able to pay it, they are also committing suicides. The people who are frustrated with their own life, lost their jobs and now not getting the other jobs, again, the same thing. So it's not mandatory that a reason should be needed to kill someone. People are enough to kill themselves as well. Understood? Okay, let's go over line by line explanation so that you will come to know. Okay. The first thing is, let me open the poem first. Okay. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Okay. Now here the poet is trying to convey, these are the opening lines of Fire and Ice, establishing two important aspects of overall poem. Firstly, they make it clear that this poem is a work of eschatology. Eschatology spelling is, if you want to write, ESCHATOLOGY. Eschatology.
Ma'am,
Written
what is eschatology?
assumptions of the people. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you can say the judgments regarding the death or the end of life.
Okay.
Okay. Writing about the end of the world. Secondly, they establish the poem's conversational tone, which is deliberately a little at odds with the gravity of the subject matter. The first two lines also set up the poem's key antithesis, as the speaker considers fire and ice will bring about the end of the world. As he's saying, as in the poem, he is saying, some say world will end in fire, some say in ice. So he is representing how the world will end. Okay. At this early stage in the poem, the symbolic meaning of these two elements is not yet apparent. That means it is not clear actually. Indeed, the speaker talks in very simple language, almost as if gossiping about someone or something. Some say, like it's just like gossiping, na? When we do the gossip, what we say? मैंने सुना था कोई ये कह रहा था, अरे पता है किसी ने ये मेरे को ये चीज बोली. This is called gossip. Okay, so here also he is doing the gossiping kind of thing. Some say that the world will end with the fire. Some say it will be ice. So this is all about luring the reader into a false sense of security before the poem unleashes the disarming depth of its thought. That means he is not even clear what a person thinks is actually the reason of destruction. Understood? The lines are balanced by anaphora. Now, where is anaphora? Some says. Some is starting with S and says also starting with S. Repetition of the letters. That's why some says. So it is anaphora. Allowing for the antithesis to be established. On one side, there is fire, and on the other, there is ice. The laid back tone masks that the end of the world is actually one of the mankind's longest and most hotly contested debates. How the world will end. This is the most important question asked by every one of us, right? How the world will end. When it is going to end, that's a different issue. But how it is going?
I don't ask.
No, it's in general, he's saying. Even I don't ask, but in general, he's saying that people ask this. Some people say that the world will end by fire. Some are saying it will end by ice. So it's like that. Okay, anyways, so we have begun the introduction and we have done the introduction part. In the next class, we'll go through it once again. As such, this poem is very deep, not the easygoing one, but we need to understand the things, right? Understood, everyone? I'll share the
Yes,
notes
ma'am.
also of this poem soon. Okay.
Have you shared the notes of Dust of Snow and Letter to God?
What you want me to give you? Tell me. What you want me to give you in that Dust of Snow? Analysis, summary.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, anything which is helpful to us.
Okay, done. Whatever I'm having, I'll provide it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you send the tenses sheet again?
What happened? You didn't get?
No, ma'am.
Sakshi ma'am? Sakshi ma'am? I think Sakshi ma'am is not there. Anyways. So it's already 33. Now you have SS lecture, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And that ma'am is in grade 9. She's waiting for me and I'm waiting for her.
Ma'am, we also didn't got the tenses worksheet.
Who has not got? Which branch?
Ma'am, Bhopal branch.
Bhopal branch has not got tenses worksheet?
No, ma'am. Only that extra question of chapter 1 is there.
Yes, ma'am. Here also.
Okay, I'll ask ma'am. I'll
Yeah,
share it
ma'am.
with Jaya ma'am and she
Branch is
will
also
share.
not correct.
Okay. Yes, Divya ma'am is coming, so I'll make her the host and then I'll leave. Just waiting for her. Okay, I'll just keep my camera off. Just waiting for Divya ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I have made you the host. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. I'll just leave.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, beta. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Request you to keep the camera on, please. Yes. I think so. Most of you have joined. Yeah. ओहो ओहो कितनों के तो खाली नाम ही देखे थे, आज ही चेहरा देख रही हूँ साल में एक बार। Okay, so we have completed first chapter, yes, of economics development. I have shared a worksheet also. I hope you got the worksheet.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got
it.
Ma'am, can you share the worksheet again?
But you need to ask to your respective center heads, because I don't have an access. We need to give it to them only. So if you have not got it, or maybe you have misplaced it or missed out, better you ask them. They will share it to you, because we don't have any access to you. Okay, in a way we can send it to or share it to you. Okay, beta?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So today we will start with the chapter of history, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. Last year, two major chapters related to France and Europe, like Nazism and all that, you have studied. Do you remember that in grade?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You have studied about French Revolution,
ma'am.
how it happened. And then you have
Russian Revolution.
Nazism and the role of Hitler,
Nazism and the rise of Hitler.
policies, everything. Yes. So these two chapters you have studied. In that you have understood how do the French Revolution happened. Yeah. Now this chapter is rise of nationalism in complete Europe. That chapter was focused about only the Bourbon family and France. Yes. Now here this chapter is focusing about whole of the Europe, means different countries and states of the Europe. Okay, so here it's a variety. It is Italy also, it is Germany also. Yeah, so there are many areas. So it is of different varieties. Yes. Now, so we'll be starting with this chapter first. As you told, many of you have, like in your school, they have started the chapter of history. This being a little bit lengthier chapter, I thought to start it earlier. Yeah. So we'll continue with this on, we'll start this. Now, the rise of nationalism in Europe. Before we move ahead, I want you people to reply me. What does the word nationalism means to you? As per my rule, first you need to understand the content of the chapter. For that, you need to understand the topic title of the chapter. Yes. So what does the word nationalism means to you? If you will try also with the nation and connect it.
Ma'am, feeling of having everyone in the same nation.
Feeling of having everyone in the same nation. Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's not true as well.
Movement or ideology to change something in a nation.
Ideology to change. Okay.
Desire of having every person in same culture, region, and the caste.
Okay, so in short, if I sum up your ideas, it's like that nationalism represents that. Okay, in simple language, if I want to say, identification of one's own nation and support in his interest. मतलब आप अपने नेशन को आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं, like you are belonging to that nation, each and everybody, you feel connected to those who are living in that nation,
And secondly, you people are trying to support in every way for the betterment of that nation in its interest. Yes, you love your country, and for your country you can do anything, and you love the people living in that country. Yes, that is nationalism.
Yes.
So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
rise of that feeling in Europe, okay, people started loving Europe as their own, like united Europe. Yeah. And how do people start? Then we face different world war during that. So all of that we are going to study in this chapter. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
let us start now. Okay, I hope most of you have the textbooks.
Yes.
Okay, most of you have the textbooks.
Yes,
So better, as I was doing previous year also, those who were with me, you need to sit with the textbook, and wherever I feel important, I'll just make you mark over there. And even explain that why I am marking that thing. Okay. Okay, there is a picture given on the very first page of this chapter. Okay, looking at the picture, what is coming to your mind?
Gathering of all the citizens and the courts.
Together. Can you, what else can be seen? That is the correct thing.
Ma'am, there are people from different countries.
Very good. Different national flags are there. The people are from different countries, but this seems to be together. Yes. So
Yes.
that is nationalism, means you want to gather together. Different states were divided. Yeah. So instead of having the different state, why can't we have a big Europe? Okay, a one nation. In 1848, Frederick Soriot, a French artist, prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republic. Okay, what does the word democratic means? Last year in grade 9 in civics, why democracy? What is democracy? You have studied. What does the word democratic means? Kavya.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, beta.
Yes, ma'am. The word democratic means that we have rights to elect our own representatives.
Okay, can you repeat it once again?
Yes, ma'am. The word democratic says that we have the right to elect our own representatives, right to vote, and we have
Okay.
all the rights of our fundamental rights.
Okay, so democratic means according to you, a citizen of that particular area are considered democratic if they are able to follow their or observe their fundamental rights. Yes. Okay, Harsh.
Yes, ma'am. It basically means that it is the rule by the people.
Okay, it's a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Arya.
Democracy is not meant by the following of rules in a country or the people are having power, but also the in the politics, the government should have transparency in their laws, that there be a good implementation of their laws, and there is a there are very active citizens, as they can go for voting and they can choose their leader wisely.
So your all points are sum up by Harsh only.
Not
democratic means government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Or money power.
Democratic means government of the people, by the people, for the people. Okay, so it's here like if it is of the people, means people has the right to choose the candidate and form the government. Yeah, of the people. So the government is working of the people, means for the people of that country. By the people means they created. Yeah, so democracy means a system of a government in which the citizens are an active participant. Yes, so his desire to look at the world dream of a world in which democratic and social republic means there should be no social division. No, not a single state or a country should be divided on the basis of division in the society. Okay, so he has that desire. Don't divide the countries on the basis of social division, like you have seen in French Revolution. The society was divided. Yeah, so he wants that type of united. Okay, as he called them. The first print, page number 1 of this series, shows the people of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social class, marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty as they passed by. Okay. As you would recall, artists of the time of the French Revolution personified liberty as a female figure. So Statue of Liberty is like freedom, yeah, and that is the female figure. Here you can recognize the torch of enlightenment she bears in one hand and the charter of the rights of man in the other. So the Statue of Unity represents the torch bearer. The mashal hai, it's showing you the light, okay, the path, the brightening future. And in the next hand there is a charter of rights, means rights of the fundamental rights of the men on the other. On the earth, in the foreground of the image, lies the shattered remains of the symbol of absolute instructions. Now, what does the word absolutistic means? Literally, a government or a system of rule that has no restraints on the power exercised. In history, the term refers to the form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized, and repressive. So, आप यहाँ पे वो चीजें देख रहे हो जो सारी नीचे पड़ी हैं shattered होके, below the lowest part of the picture. It represents the strains, or you can say imprints of the monarchical form of government, which was centralized or which revolved around the monarchy, and it was military based, means they have imposed power through pressure of military, and repressive means they tried to repress the people, their rights, their freedom, everything. Yeah. In Sorio's utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flags and national costume. So here you can see each people are representing, carrying their own flag, but united together. Okay, because they believe though we are separated, but the agenda of that is to progress the humankind. Okay. Leading the procession way past the Statue of Liberty are the United States and Switzerland, which by this time were already nation states. Okay, so they were started with United States and Switzerland, which were already a nation states. France, indefiably by the revolutionary tricolor, has just reached the statue. So they can see few people have already reached the statue and crossed, means they have achieved the target of being liberty. Yeah, still more of them are in a queue, yeah, with carrying the flag of their nation and moving towards to get themselves free and liberty. Okay. She is followed by the peoples of Germany bearing the black, red, and golden flag. Interestingly, at the time when Sorio created this image, the German people did not yet exist as a United Nations. The flag they carry is an expression of liberal hopes in 1848 to unify the numerous German-speaking principalities into a nation's state under the democratic constitution. Following the German people are the people of Austria, the kingdom of two slices, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and Russia. From the heavens above, Christ, saints, and angel gaze upon the scene. They have been used by the artist to symbolize fraternity among the nations of the world. Okay, so what does the fraternity means? What does the word fraternity means?
Equality.
Ma'am.
Yes, fraternity means what? हमने last year पढ़ा था political science में fraternity.
All the citizens are equal. They are like his brother and sisters.
Fraternity refers to always equality and showing equal rights. So if you look at this picture, the countries, those who are marching in the beginning and they have passed the Statue of Liberty, they are already in a liberal state. Yeah. So they have freedom, they have democratic form of government, everything. Then few are approaching the Statue of Liberty, means they're about to reach there. And there is a long queue of different nations. Okay. And there is a like few angels, Christ, the picture of Jesus Christ and all that. Those who want, those who desire that there should be equality among the different people of the society and everybody should have equal rights and opportunity. The chapter will deal with many of these issues visualized by Sorokin figure 1. During the 19th century, nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in the political and mental world of Europe. Okay. The end result of these changes was the emerge of the nation state in a place of multinational dynamic empires of Europe. Now, anybody knows what is a nation state? What is a nation state? Anybody who can try?
Ma'am, can I Harsh?
हाँ बोलो.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is a confined space, means a state which are having the people of same speaking language and culture.
So the nation states means the people, those who are following same language, same culture, yeah, they are confined, means now they are united. Okay. So you will find many of the nation states over here, means the monarchy is ended, because when there was a monarchy, the state was divided into different categories and the classes of the people. Though they belong to same religion, same caste, yeah, same languages, but still they have a division of that. But slowly, all this division has gone and all the citizens are considered equal following the same languages and culture. Okay, the end of these changes was the emerge of nation state in place of multinational dynamic empires of Europe. The concept and practices of a modern state in which a centralized power exercise sovereign control over a clearly defined territory has been developed over a long period of time in Europe. But the nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens had not only its rulers came to develop the sense of common identity and share history or descendant. So reducing the differences in the society, making all or bringing all people to a common platform and removing divisions from the society. And everybody should have a common identity that I belong to this nation. Suppose I am Indian, okay, I belong to India, so I am Indian, so I belong to this state, so everybody belongs to the same state. It doesn't make any difference like which religion, which thing you are, how much you earn, what is your economical status, what is your position. Okay, this commonness did not exist from the time immortal. It was forged through struggle, through the actions of the leaders and common people. So it was not immortal, यानी ऐसा नहीं था कि पहले से हमें मिला हुआ था. But the people have to fight very hard. They have to struggle. The leaders need to lead the revolution and events, yeah, to gain this. And even the common people had worked very hard with a dedication. This chapter will look at the diverse process through which nation states and nationalism came into being in the 19th century in Europe. So ये पूरा चैप्टर है कि डिफरेंट कंट्रीज ने कैसे हाउ डिड इट स्टार्ट द नेशनलिज्म, देन हाउ डिड इट कन्वर्टेड इनटू द नेशन स्टेट. ओके,
Yes,
is it
ma'am.
clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first topic of this chapter is about the French Revolution and the idea of the nation. 1 minute. Okay. The first topic of this chapter is the French Revolution and the idea of the nation. You have studied about French Revolution, but how do it become the big nation? Yeah. Okay. The first clear expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution in 1789. France, as you would remember, was a full-fledged territorial state in 1789 under the rule of an absolute monarch. What does it mean, full-fledged territorial state in 1789? We know in 14 July 1789 is considered as the French Revolution. Yeah, the day is considered to, okay, but full-fledged, it means full-fledged. Territorial state, what does it mean? Territorial state.
Ma'am, means it was having certain boundaries and it was ruled by a king. Which
It
was
was
the
having
monarch.
certain
Boundaries. Fixed
See,
boundaries. were there.
territorial state means the France was divided into different territories. Dvisha? Yes, Dvisha?
No, ma'am, nothing.
Your voice is not clear, beta.
No, ma'am, I have nothing to ask. By mistake, my mic was unmuted.
Okay, okay. Under the rule of absolute monarchy. So before that, there was an absolute monarchy, means completely the France was under the control of monarchy. Yeah. The political and the constitutional changes that came in the wake of the French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from the monarchy to the body of French civilization. So after this revolution, the monarchy came to complete end and French was a democratic country. Yes. The revolution proclaimed that it was the people who would henceforth constitute the nation and shape its dynasty. So now it was completely by the people. They have elected representatives who will run the government, who will frame the law. The different categories, means the estate system completely came to an end. Every individual or the citizen of France was equal in the eye of the government and law. Yes. So it was now completely the people who will design their destiny. How will be the future France? How will be the constitution of the nation? What will be their laws? What will be their rights? What will be their duties? Yeah, everything should be framed. There was no bit of the monarchy. It was completely free of that, and it was its people's duty to do it. From the very beginning, the French Revolutionary introduced various measures and practices that could create a sense of collective identity among the French people. So in the beginning only, while they were framing all these things, they keep in mind that from the very base only, especially eradication of the 3 estates of the France, because that was one thing which has divided the whole France into 3 categories, and one category has suffered a lot. So they want that each and every individual should be equal. Okay.
This is the aspect of third estate.
Third estate, and most of the 90% of the people were in the third estate only, na beta?
Yes, ma'am.
90% of the people were belonging to third estate. So it's the expectation of all. Only 10% were there which are related to clergy and nobility. So आप कह सकते हो ना कि most of the people want this. The idea of la patrie, the fatherland, and la citoyen means the citizen, emphasize the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights under a constitution. What does it mean? The idea of la patrie, the fatherland, and la citoyen emphasize the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights under the constitution. Here it means whether you belong to first estate, whether you belong to second estate, or you belong to monarchy, yeah, or you are a normal citizen, yeah, everybody should enjoy the united community enjoying equal, everybody should be united and they should be enjoying equal rights. There should be no discrimination in the rights of the citizen under the constitution. That was the first aim of the people when they start, the French revolutionary, when they start to practice the constitution. Okay, सबसे पहली चीज उन्होंने क्या चाहिए, कोई भी any person, it should be, there should be equality, there should be one united community, and from that community each and every individual should have equal right under the constitution. Because the worst thing faced by the France was the division of the society. Okay, so from the beginning they have kept this thing in the mind. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
The very first phase when they tried to create a new constitution, a new French flag, the tricolor was chosen to replace the formal royal standards. The second thing, they created a new flag. They were having 3 colors, and each color was having its own representation. The State Journal was elected by the body of active citizens and renamed the National Assembly. तो State Journal हमने पढ़ा था ना, याद आया? What is State Journal?
Yes,
last year
ma'am.
पढ़ा था हमने.
Ma'am, body of the representative where all state, like some representative from all state will come and vote for the
हाँ, so हाँ, कोई भी डिसीजन लाने के लिए हमने वो पढ़ा था ना, उसमें आया था स्टेट जर्नल होते थे हर स्टेट्स के, स्टेट के, and they need to cast the vote if the king want to introduce any new law or the taxes. पर उसमें कैसा था, वन स्टेट का वन वोट होता था, और जबकि 90% पॉपुलेशन थर्ड स्टेट में था. Okay, so State Journal was elected by the body of active citizen and renamed. अब क्या था, State Journal बनेगा, but not state wise, means class wise नहीं, but जितने भी citizen है, they will cast a vote और एक body बनाएंगे और उसका नाम State Journal से change करके National Assembly कर दिया है. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
New body of active citizen and renamed National Assembly. New hymns were composed, oath taken, and martyrs commemorated, all in the name of the nation. अब जितनी भी चीजें थी, पहले क्या होता था, जो hymns थे या oath था, वो सब कुछ वो लोग keeping the monarchy in the mind they were taking. We should be loyal to the king and all that. So all these things have changed. हम लोग ओथ लेते हैं ना, what is the oath of India? We the citizen of India, नहीं हम ओथ लेते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
up, instead of keeping the monarchy in the center, they have changed everything. Now whatever they do, yeah, they will be in the state of the nation, yani democratic. In France, democratic France, we the citizen of democratic France, or we the citizen of France. Okay, in that way they used to take, keeping the nation in the center, not the monarchy in the center, not the clergy or nobility in the center. Okay. A centralized administrative system was put in place and it formulated uniform laws for all citizens within the territory. That is also clear. I don't need to explain that. A centralized system, okay, administrative system was put in the place. मतलब अब वहां पे एक सेंट्रलाइज एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम होता था विथ यूनिफॉर्म लॉस फॉर, एक ही जैसे लॉ फॉर ऑल द सिटीजन्स. सो whether you are rich, poor, there was no estate system. It's not like you belong to this. For each and every individual is equal in the right of the nation, and they have same laws. Internal custom duties and dues were abolished, and a uniform system. Internal custom duties and dues, पता है उसमें था जो लैंड लॉज होते थे, तो फेडरल लॉर्ड्स होते थे, they again used to impose their certain more laws and duties on the peasants. हाँ, separate laws and duties लगाते थे ना peasants के ऊपर. चर्च अलग से ले लेता था 10%. Yeah, so all these have been abolished, and a common custom or common taxation policy and an uniform system of weights and measure was adopted. यानी इक्वल सिस्टम ऑफ वेट्स एंड मेजर. वो किसके टाइम में इंट्रोड्यूस किया था इक्वल सिस्टम ऑफ वेट्स एंड मेजर? नाजी के टाइम में इंट्रोड्यूस किया था ये?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, सो उन्होंने तब नाजी के टाइम में यूज किया था, बट दे हैव अडॉप्टेड, मतलब एक ही जैसे मेजरमेंट, बस ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स वर हैविंग different measuring systems and all that. Okay, different weights were there. Now there is a uniform system. जैसे अब हम लोग होते हैं, सॉलिड चीज है ग्रेन किलोस ग्राम्स और उसमें यूज करते हैं, लिक्विड्स है लीटर मिलीलीटर में यूज करते हैं. Yes, so common system was introduced. Whatever, which part of France you are living, which category of people, which citizen, everything, there was a common system. Regional dialects were discouraged, and France was as it was spoken and written in Paris became the common language of the nation. यानी regional dialects, वहां पे different region में, जैसे different region have their own dialects. Okay, now all these they used to communicate, and all their administrative and legal work were done in their regional dialects. It has abolished, and a common French language, like in India we have a Hindi, a common language. Yes or no? National language है ना हमारी हिंदी. ऐसे France was adopted as a national language, a common language in which all the legal and government work should be done, so that there is a transparency. Anybody can read it. अब सब कुछ अगर हम साउथ की लैंग्वेज में करने लगे तो हमें तो कुछ समझ ही नहीं आएगा क्या लिखा है उन्होंने, सही गलत, है ना. ऐसे वहां पे भी डिफरेंट डायलेक्ट्स थे, तो उन्होंने सब हटा के एक कॉमन लैंग्वेज शुरू कर दिया, so that there is a uniformity and transparency. All the legal and government work should be done in that language only. Yes, people are free to communicate with their regional languages, but if you have to do any sort of legal or a government work, you need to do it in French language only, so that a transparency can be maintained. So these were the changes which came into France as an ideal nation. The revolutionary further declared that it was the mission and the destiny of France nation to liberate the people of Europe from despotism. In other words, to help other people of Europe to become nations. So once the France has introduced all these system, the policies which are written over here, yeah, in their system, they decided that it is our responsibility, the responsibility of France, okay, to make other nations of the world also following this. ये आपका टेक्स्ट बुक का फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है. एक्सप्लेन व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय 1848 रिवॉल्यूशन ऑफ द लिबरल्स. What are the political, social and economical ideas supposed by the liberals? ये जितने पॉइंट्स मैंने सेपरेट किए ना, ये सारे पॉइंट्स आते हैं इसके अंदर, और ये स्ट्रेट अवे 5 मार्कर क्वेश्चन है. ये जो सेकंड पैराग्राफ है ना आपका पूरा, उसमें बहुत सारे 6 to 7 पॉइंट्स बनते हैं उसके अंदर.
हम 7 पॉइंट्स आ गए.
हाँ, तो वो सारे पॉइंट्स आर योर, इट्स अ स्ट्रेट अवे 5 मार्कर क्वेश्चन. अब जब उनने ये सब चीजें फॉलो कर ली, तब उन्होंने सोचा हम तो हो गए, वी हैव अपग्रेडेड अवरसेल्फ, वी हैव पुट अप ऑल द थिंग्स टुगेदर, नाउ इट्स आवर मोरल ड्यूटी टू मेक अदर स्टेट्स ऑफ यूरोप आल्सो बीइंग अ नेशन, यानी वो भी फ्री हो जाए मोनार्की से. ओके, सो द रिवॉल्यूशनरी फर्दर डिक्लेयर्ड दैट इट वाज द मिशन एंड द डेस्टिनी ऑफ फ्रेंच नेशन टू लिबरेट, यानी बाकी सारे देशों को भी लिबरेट करना है, द पीपल ऑफ यूरोप फ्रॉम डिस्पोजिशन. इन अदर वर्ड्स, टू हेल्प द other people of Europe to become the separate and individual nation in which there is a equality and liberty. When the news of the events in France reached the different cities of Europe, students and other members of educated middle classes began setting up Jacobin clubs. Now this is a new term to you. So these type of liberalism started. Then a Jacobin is a community, and they started to form small clubs. Now we will understand why do these Jacobins started to make clubs. Clubs over here, the word clubs are used so that it is referred to as a group of people, or you can say association of people working for certain cause. Okay, their activity
clubs were there in the French Revolution also.
They were there in the French revolutions also, but After this, they become more active with different view. Their activities and campaigns prepared the way for the French armies, which moved into Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and much of Italy in 1790s. With the outbreak of revolutionary wars, the French armies began to carry the idea of nationalism abroad. पहले यहाँ पे कर लिया, then they started to move. These Jacobin clubs started with this revolutionary liberalization के idea से, they started to move, began to carry the idea of nationalism in other places also. Okay. Now let's now within the white swath, yes.
Ma'am, these Jacobin clubs, the members of Jacobin club went there, means went abroad for nationalism, spreading of nationalism.
They have went to other countries of the Europe also for nationalism and all that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
They help them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it was very active during the French Revolution, but after the France became liberal, yeah, वो free हो गया, liberal हो गया, nation बन गया. अब उसके बाद these Jacobin clubs take the responsibility and take active initiative so that other areas also became the independent nation. Means वहां भी monarchy खत्म हो जाए, वो लोग free हो जाएं, they have equality and everything. Okay, nations बनाने के लिए they started to work. Within the wide swath of territory that came under his control, Napoleon set about introducing many of the reforms that he had already introduced in France. Through a return to monarchy, Napoleon had no doubt destroyed democracy in France, but in the administrative field, he had incorporated revolutionary principles in order to make the whole system more rational and efficient. Up, who was Napoleon?
He was a military leader.
Okay. And what did he did? What was his role? I don't want any perfect answer. If you have any idea, just you can start sharing so I can build upon that.
He removed monarchy and then he started.
He don't remove monarchy. Actually, he in the beginning supported the removal of monarchy, but as soon as he became more popular and he got some power, again he tried. He destroyed the democracy of the France, and slowly and indirectly he came to the power and tried to incorporate it.
Ma'am, but he was not in the field, like administrative field.
He was not in the administrative field. I agree that.
And he introduced equality between men and women.
That was one good thing he did, but slowly he won and promoted the rule. Monarchy means not directly monarchy, but he wants that he should be at the supreme power. All the decision and administrative control should be under him. See, I'm not telling that directly he brought the monarchy back. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And he wants to extend his territories. Like.
अब उसका कैसा था? जैसे फ्रांस ने एक nation state बन गया, ठीक है ना? अब he was the France was satisfied, enjoying and developing among themselves. But as soon as the Napoleon became powerful, he again started with the thoughts of monarchy. राजा का thought कैसा होता है? मेरी boundaries extend हो जाए, my decision should be ultimate. All the decisions which are taken either by the minister should be approved by me. This type of things he wants. So he wants that ultimate power, and the power, decision making power should be with him only, and he wants to extend the boundaries of France at any cost. Again, extending the boundaries of France will lead to war. Okay. Napoleon set about introducing many of the reforms that he had already introduced in France. through a return to monarchy, Napoleon had no doubt destroyed the democracy in France, but in the administrative field, he had incorporated revolutionary principles in order to make the whole system more rational and efficient. अब वो क्या था, उसको डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम उसने इंट्रोड्यूस किया, रिवॉल्यूशनरी प्रिंसिपल्स में इंट्रोड्यूस किए, ओके, इन ऑर्डर टू मेक मोर होल सिस्टम रेशनल एंड मींस पूरा जो आपका रिवॉल्यूशनरी सिस्टम था और प्रिंसिपल्स थे वो बहुत इफेक्टिवली हो और इट शुड बी रेशनल एंड एफिशिएंट, होल सिस्टम शुड बी मोर रेशनल एंड एफिशिएंट. वो करने के लिए उसने सारे स्टेप लिए, बट इन शॉर्ट इट शुड बी डन एज पर हिज विश. Not direct monarchy, but indirect monarchy it was. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, now he introduced a civil code of conduct in 1804, usually known as Napoleon Code of Conduct. Now, what was in this code of conduct? Did away with all privileges based on birth. हाँ, इसने कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट में वो जो प्रिविलेज वाला सिस्टम था ना, जैसे हमारे एस्टेट में था, बाय बर्थ द क्लर्जी एंड नोबिलिटी विल हैव दैट प्रिविलेज, वो सिस्टम सारा बंद कर दिया. डिड अवे विथ ऑल द प्रिविलेजेस, एस्टैब्लिश इक्वालिटी बिफोर द लॉ एंड सिक्योर द राइट ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी. सिक्योर द राइट ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी मतलब कोई किसी की भी प्रॉपर्टी, बिकॉज मेरे पास पावर है तो मैं या तो किसी की भी प्रॉपर्टी ले लूं, या मैं उसको सपोज मनी लेंड कर रहा हूं या लोन दिया है, या स्मॉल पीजेंट्स है तो उसकी प्रॉपर्टी विद द प्रेशर एंड विद माय मनी आई कैन अंडरटेक. तो वो सारी चीजें उसने खत्म कर दी थी. ही हैज इंट्रोड्यूस द लॉ विच कैन सिक्योर द राइट ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी. यानी मेरी जमीन है, मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है, तो there anybody cannot take control over that in any circumstances, only if I wish to give. मुझे उसे बेचना है या मुझे बहुत जरूरत है, मुझे उसको दे देना है या मुझे तो ही, बाकी कोई भी पावरफुल बंदा उसको मेरे से स्नैच नहीं कर सकता है.
Nobody can force anybody to.
हाँ, पहले कैसा था, ये फोर्सफुली होता था. ओके. The code was exported to the regions under the French control, in the Dutch Republic, in Switzerland, in Italy, and Germany. So not only in France, but the code was exported, even go to different far away other countries of the Europe. Napoleon simplified administrative division, abolished the feudal system, and freed peasants from serfdom and manorial dues. Serfdom, you know, that is slavery. There were many peasants during in France during that time, which were slaves. And generation to generation, the whole family are slaves. Means one after another, the slavery was there. मतलब अगर बाप मर गया तो बेटा करेगा, बेटे के बाद उसका बेटा करेगा. Yeah, there was no freedom. So he has completely brought the halt to this.
And that was trade of slavery, no?
हाँ. एंड फेडरल सिस्टम, यानी वो लॉर्ड वाला सिस्टम, यानी अपना लैंड देकर उनसे सारा प्रोडक्शन, वो सिस्टम भी कंप्लीट कर दिया. पीजेंट्स को स्लेवरी से हटा दिया. मींस वो जितने घंटे चाहे उतने घंटे काम कर सकते हैं, फिर अपना वेजेस लिया एंड दे कैन गो. इफ दे डोंट वांट टू वर्क दे कैन से नो आल्सो. अर्लियर इट वाज नॉट लाइक दैट.
And ma'am, also was his motto to introduce liberty?
हाँ, was it motto introduce liberty, but he wants himself to be in the center. मैंने कहा ना, somehow indirect monarchy means सब कुछ अच्छा करना चाहता था बट अपने तरीके से, और अपने आप को सुप्रीम पावर देना चाह रहा था.
No, it's kind of monarch.
हाँ, but I say ना indirectly, a monarchy which is working for the people. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's like मैनोरियल ड्यूज, मतलब वो हमने पिक्चर देखी थी ना लास्ट ईयर में, पता है वो पुराने चैप्टर में लाइक होती है, उसमें नहीं था, वो लोग सब देखते थे, देते थे. उसने नहीं दिखाते थे कि वो सब कुछ, वो जो पीजेंट होता है वो सब ग्रेन्स, फूड ग्रेन्स और सैलेड, वेजिटेबल्स और कैश,
giving all the things to the king.
हाँ, और इवन लैंडलॉर्ड्स को भी देते थे. सो वो सब उसने खत्म कर दिया. अपना आओ काम करो, आप पीजेंट हो, यू वर्क, यू टेक द वेजेस एंड गो अवे. You turn wages and go away. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what happened in the towns too? Guild restrictions were removed. हमने guild के बारे में last year पढ़ा था. First chapter
To
में
make
था.
association.
हाँ?
Not to make association.
हाँ, वो restrictions हट गए. Transportation and communication system were improved. Peasants, artisan workers and new businessmen enjoyed a newfound freedom. मतलब जिसको जो काम करना है, जो ठीक लगता है वो करे. पहले ऐसा नहीं था. They don't have their own individual life. They were completely controlled by the upper two classes. ठीक है. सो पीजेंट आज मतलब उन्हें मन है तो ये काम करें, नहीं करना, किसी को किसी के अंडर काम नहीं करना, और उसके पास थोड़े से फंड है, अपना कोई छोटा मोटा काम शुरू करना है, whatever way, means they were free to decide and take decisions for their life. Businessmen and small scale producers of good in particular began to realize that uniform laws, standardized weights and measures, and a common national currency would facilitate the movement and exchange of goods and capital from one region to another. So ये सारे good deeds थे उसके. तो उन्होंने सबको फ्रीडम दी थी, जिसको जो काम करना है, जैसे काम करना है. तो जो बिजनेसमैन थे उनको लग रहा था कि ये सब आ जाने के बाद they have an open permission to do trade. जिससे बिजनेस करना चाहें, जितना बिजनेस करना चाहें वो कर सकते हैं. गुड ट्रांसपोर्ट था, कम्युनिकेशन था, कॉमन करेंसी था, तो ट्रांजैक्शन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रहा था. सब जगह एक ही तरीके का वेट और मेजरमेंट यूज हो रहा था, तो उनको अपने प्रोडक्ट के गुड प्राइसेस मिल रहे थे, है ना. सो एक्सचेंजिंग ऑफ गुड्स एंड कैपिटल फ्रॉम वन. सो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह बिजनेस करना उनके लिए डिफिकल्ट नहीं. तो एक्सपैंड देयर बिजनेस वाज वेरी इजियर फॉर देम. Okay, to expand their business was very easier, which give growth to them. उनका डेवलपमेंट होने लगा, वो लोग ग्रो करने लगे फाइनेंशियली भी और बिजनेस वाइज भी. However, in the areas conquered, the reaction of the local population to France rule were mixed. Initially, in many places such as Holland and Switzerland, as well as in certain cities like Brussels, Maisan, Milan, and Warsaw, the French armies were welcomed as harbingers of liberty. What does it mean, harbingers of liberty?
The bringers of liberty.
What does the word harbinger?
I'm a person or thing that announces or signal the approach of another.
It means उनको क्या लगने लगा था कि ये जो एक्सपेंशन है और नेपोलियन और ये सब जो दूसरे एरिया में लाइक ब्रुसेल्स में, मिलान में और सब में वो लोग जा रहे थे, कहीं ना कहीं दैट पीपल वर थिंकिंग दैट फ्रांस इज ट्राइंग टू ओवरकम. मतलब वो धीरे धीरे अपना पावर इन जगह में बना रहा है, चाहे पॉजिटिव वे में, बट इनडायरेक्टली वो अपना कंट्रोल और प्रेशर बना रहा है इन सब एरियाज में. But the initial enthusiasm soon turned to hostility as it became clear that the new administrative arrangement did not go hand in hand with political freedom. So अब धीरे धीरे वो नेपोलियन का कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट, अभी शुरू में तो उन्हें क्या लगा कि ये सब बहुत अच्छा है, अच्छे से हो रहा है, बट देन दे रियलाइज के, मैंने कहा ना, वो धीरे धीरे कंट्रोल बना रहा था सबके ऊपर. इंक्रीज टैक्सेशन, सेंसरशिप, फोर्स conscription into the French armies required to conquer the rest of Europe all seems to overweigh the advantages of administrative changes. Ab Napoleon ka interest to expand the boundaries and bringing all these neighboring and nearby states under the French control. Okay, under the French control. तो उनको क्या लग रहा था कि धीरे धीरे the Napoleon wants to bring all these area under the French nation state. So they didn't like the idea. In the beginning, no doubt they enjoyed it, but later on they have realized that this is not a proper way.
Ma'am, he wants to control the whole Europe.
he wants to have like with the progress, उसने बहुत कुछ अच्छा किया, but अच्छा करने के बाद धीरे धीरे वो इन सब एरियाज को फ्रांस के अंदर इंक्लूड करके अपना सुप्रीमेसी स्प्रेड करना चाह रहा था, जो उनको रियलाइज होने लगा, बिकॉज एट प्लेसेस दे डिडंट फाइंड फ्रीडम. अगर वो कोई चेंजेस करना चाह रहे थे या कोई चेंजेस अपने एरिया में लाना चाह रहे थे, so they were not allowed to do that. They were only allowed to follow and implement these things.
मैम तो उसने बाद में ये सब चीजें चेंज की ना, मतलब
हाँ, वो
increase in
उसके
rates.
दिमाग में तो यही था, बट शुरू में क्या हुआ, जब प्रोग्रेस आया तो सबको अच्छा लगा ना बेटा.
हाँ.
बट जब वो प्रोग्रेस के बाद, सपोज मैं अगर मैं बिलोंग करती हूँ हॉलैंड को, ठीक है, अकॉर्डिंग टू माय एरिया एंड माय स्टेट, whatever was given by Napoleon means trade terms, conditions, I was following, but somehow at certain point of time I don't agree and I want to bring some changes. At that time Napoleon refused to do that.
मैम बट ज्यादा फर्क थोड़ी ना पड़ा होगा मतलब सिटीजन को.
क्यों नहीं पड़ेगा? अगर मुझे कोई चीज मेरी कंट्री को सूट नहीं हो रही है, मैं नहीं फॉलो करना चाह रहा हूँ, बट वो प्रेशराइज कर रहे हैं ना कि हमें फॉलो करना है. अगर आप नहीं करोगे तो वो मिलिट्री वाइज भी वो पावरफुल तो हो ही गया था. ही विल टेक ओवर योर कंट्री. वेदांत, योर माइक इज अनम्यूटेड, प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ. आया समझ में? इसको हम और डिटेल में समझेंगे इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. ओके, because it will take more time to understand. I hope till now the things are bit clear. I know this chapter is very confusing and very means too many facts you need to remember at time, and very prominent chapter from your point of view, means exam, board exam के हिसाब से this chapter is having a very good weightage. Mostly 5 marker questions, 1 5 marker and sometime 1 3 marker is also coming. So normally out of 80, 8 to 9 mark, एक question objective का भी आता है, 8 to 9 marks weightage है इस chapter का. Total history में 20 marks है, उसमें से 8 to 9 marks का weightage इस chapter का होता है. Okay, so it will take time. So that is the only reason I started, and I'll be giving you more examples in the next class about Napoleon Code of Conduct and how he wants to do it. Yeah, to make, because it seems many children were a bit confused in this Napoleon. Please be honest to yourself. How many of you think that Napoleon Code of Conduct is still confusing to you all?
Ma'am, it is very confusing.
Very good. At least you are honest. So next class mein,
Yes,
I'll be
ma'am.
bringing more examples.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be bringing more examples and a detailed example so that I'm in a position to make these things clear to you. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
is it clear? So we'll be continuing with some revision of Napoleon Code of Conduct in next class, and then we will continue the other parts of the or other topics of the chapter. Okay, Sakshi ma'am.
जी मैम.
I think so. My class is over, so I have to leave or what? Like,
I'll end up the meeting.
okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, beta.
Bye,
All of you,
ma'am.
bye.